welcome you and let you know how great it is to have you here for the Greater Purpose Podcast.
What's up? Welcome to the Greater Purpose Podcast from the Cubs room. Hear the cheering crowd in the background?
The ninth wonder of the world, Bill.
The ninth wonder of the world. Did you hear that? We are now the ninth wonder of the world here in the Cubs room. So that's awesome. That's official. So yeah, great to be here. Glad you're here. Remember, like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff that my producer has told me that you must do. We're over 7,000 views, which is amazing to me. What a great opportunity we've had to have some guys come in here and share their experiences, their godly walk, and where God's leading them in their lives. So
I hope I don't break the camera.
No, I think it's looking all right. We're doing pretty good right there, Dave. I'm going to introduce this guy in just a minute. Before I do that, though, don't forget, you can now go to the-greater-purpose.com. And you can you can link into the YouTube channel. You can link into some of the guys that have been through here on the podcast, some of their material, some of their information, some of their campaigns. This is not a political podcast, but we've had some politicians through here. So you can link into all kinds of stuff, including my executive producer's Avon website. And we all know who my executive producer is. Donna Ward. So if you need
your beautiful wife,
yes,
Donna.
my beautiful, awesome executive producer wife. Yeah. So if you need any Avon out there for your wives or guys, if you need Avon for something, there's stuff for men too. But anyway, so that's all that fun stuff. And now I'm going to introduce my guest, David Sherrill, my good friend, my good buddy. Even though he's got the Mariners, there's an explanation behind that. But yeah, he's a Braves fan. There's a short explanation behind the Mariners shirt. You want to show him the back of it real quick, or is that part of your present?
That's part of it.
Never mind. That's part. Okay, good. So
that's coming up.
Let's jump right into it here.
Yeah.
So tell everybody who David Sherrill is real quick.
All right. My name is David Sherrill. I'm pretty much what I would say the common man, the blue collar worker. I work at GKN Corporation, which makes car parts. Probably the gears that you drive in your car were probably made by us. So, in that respect. So, anyway, by the way, Bill, I got my hair cut and I shaved and combed my hair to get ready for this podcast. So, I hope
he's seen the podcast.
I hope I'm presentable.
Well, Ronnie got groomed before he came. Several others. We got to get shaped up for the podcast. So yeah, we appreciate that. That's great. I love it. So, and your wife, your awesome wife, Elizabeth. Yep. And anything else? Anything else you want to say about David before we jump into the
our cat Smokestack.
Smokestack.
Which by the way, in this day and age, gets treated. He lives the life of Briley. He gets treated better than most kids do.
There you go. So yeah, we have a fur baby too, Macy, and she's spoiled rotten. So that's what we do. Do. So cool. All right. So David, all the way from Lincolnton. So glad you could come and.
Or as the locals would say, Lincoln.
Yeah, right. Just like Cherville. Somebody I was with said Cherryville the other day, and I'm like, oh, they'd be in big trouble if they went there and said that. So,
but now I've got to go a little bit deeper than that.
Okay.
Originally from Denver of the East.
Oh, Denver of the East. Okay.
Denver of the East.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Denver.
So
yeah. So there you go, all the way from Denver to Lincoln. No, I'm just kidding.
my address is Lincoln. My heart is always going to be in Denver.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right. So tell us, when did you first recognize the importance of becoming a godly man, attempting to become a godly man?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit different, Bill.
Okay. He's changing it up on us.
Right.
That's good.
And by the way,
See, he watches all the podcasts, so he knows what he can and can't get away with.
but by the way, I have to share this with everyone. I do. I have to share this with everyone. I want to tell you something that a lot of people, I know it, but a lot of people don't know this about Bill. He doesn't wear white socks. He doesn't wear white socks.
In the summer, I do sometimes. Not very often, though.
Look at his shirt. Look at his shirt. He's a Cubs fan. There's another baseball team that
White
plays
Sox
in Chicago.
That's not why I don't wear white
That's
socks.
their nickname. He doesn't wear white socks. It's blasphemy in the Lord household, okay? All right, just thought I'd share that with everybody.
All right, well, I don't wear white socks very often, but that's, yeah. Okay, all right, cool. All right, okay, good. All right, now you got me all messed up here. So, all right, where are we going? Where are we going now? So when did you first realize the importance of? See, now we got to get serious again. So yeah, we were laughing beforehand, by the way. So now we're laughing some more. Yeah. So when was it you first discovered it was important to be a godly man?
Bill, I'm going to go backwards. When I say that, it was basically confirmed. We had a revival at our church, which we go to, South Gastonia, Church of God.
Yeah.
In Gastonia. And wonderful pastor Adrian Franklin.
Mm-hmm. Who's been on the podcast, by the way. Go back and watch.
Exactly. And
former Pastor Gilly, who's also been on the podcast. Go back and watch that.
Absolutely.
See there? There you go. A lot of good plugs there.
Precious men of God.
Yep.
We had a revival by Jonathan Ziegler that came out of Washington, D.C. And, excuse me. And it was pretty much confirmation. Being a godly man. I took. By the way, I work. If I look like my eyes are halfway open, I work at night. I work on third shift. So if you look at me and I'm sort of doing this number at you and whatever. It's just
one of these.
Yeah, you might have to elbow me every now and then to keep me awake, Bill.
Okay. Can I do this?
The camera's on. David, the camera's on. You're on. But Bill does.
This is great.
If I do anything, I'll make you laugh.
This is awesome. I love it. This is awesome.
But anyway, I took there was a 4-night, Sunday through Wednesday night, and I took a couple hours off for the Wednesday night service. And during that service, Bishop Ziegler said, "You have the green light." And we have a good friend that goes, obviously, a lot of good friends, but Chris White, who's been on the podcast.
He's also been.
And you know how.
See, now we got to get Ziegler on here because you've mentioned everybody else you've mentioned has been on here. So,
but you know how Chris is when he wants to get a point across or when he prays for you, he'll get you sort of in a half side headlock,
You're locked
and he gets into your face and he says, "David,
like that.
Go through the light. Go through the light,
go
David.
Through the green light.
Go through the light.
Got the green light and go through the light.
That's right. Get out the green light, go through the light." Seriously. And I texted him after that, and that was every service was powerful, but that was powerful for me.
Yeah.
And it was just confirmation. Go through the light.
Mm-hmm.
I've had anger issues, which I will get into that. A lot of stuff happened to people, Bill, and you know my past, but to let you all know. In 1980, December 29th of that year, I lost my first wife, Diane, and my 7-month-old daughter, Amanda, in a house fire. Which obviously changed my life forever. I will say this, for some of you that may smoke, please stop. And if you even consider it, just don't even think about it. It can and it will kill you. A smoldering cigarette. Came home on my first day on first shift and found them. Like I said, it changed my life dramatically. But to go back when you ask your question about my mom. My mom was a survivor of 3 husbands, with my dad being her last. And after that happened, she looked at me and she said, David, you put your shirt on every day, you put your pants on every day, one leg at a time. You don't run from this, you look it straight in the eye, and you go on. And so I did. A lot of people, I've fixed the house back up. I lived there for another 10 years, basically 11 years. And a lot of people thought, my gosh, why are you living in that house? Well, that was my way of handling it. And as you well know, people handle things different.
Yeah,
everybody's different. Yep. Everybody's grief is different.
Yep. That's why I never tell somebody, hey, I know what you're feeling, because I don't know what you're feeling. When talking about where I used to work, I worked. Let me give a plug in for the local radio station. I worked in radio years ago. I worked radio voice there.
I worked at WLON. We love our neighbors.
There you go.
In Lincolnton, North Carolina, and always thought it was a hobby getting paid for it. And one of the things that they taught us in broadcasting school, which I went to Carolina School of Broadcasting in Charlotte, they said everybody is entitled to a bad day, but you are not.
Right.
He said some of these people are having the worst day of their lives. Yeah. The loss of family, the loss of a divorce, which I will get into in a minute. They're having bad days, and they're needing somebody to brighten their day, and you're it.
Yep, you're it. Right.
So, in doing that, I tried to inspire people, to give them a joke and give them a laugh, and that's why I'm at fault. That's okay. I love laughter, whatever. Yeah. Laughter is good, as the Bible says. It's for a merry heart.
Yeah.
And it's the healer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my mom, and that's one thing about my mom. As far as like to have a Bible out very much, or even my dad for that matter. And I don't say this in a mean way at all. And especially out to any of the Sherrill family that listen. I never really, watching this podcast, I never really heard my dad say that he actually loved me. Mm-hmm. Just come out and just put his arm around me and say, I love you, son. He would say skeek. Skeeky.
That was your nickname.
Skeeky. That was my nickname. And I will tell you the story on that.
Okay.
I did something in the front of the car that you would normally do in the bathroom. So that's how I got the nickname Skicky.
We don't want to know the details. That's okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay. You might edit that out.
Okay.
But anyway. But he would. But I knew that he loved me.
Yeah.
And I come from a Leave It to Beaver family. I mean, my parents were together all my life. And just mom, with dealing with what she dealt with, as far as telling me, she said, you just face it head on and just go on.
Yeah. So that's one of your big influences, obviously, your mom.
Yeah.
So,
mom, and just so many people I know you have on here about the people that involved in your life or whatever. Right. So inspirational. Yeah. I've got a bunch. So please forgive me. But one of the things I do want to share is that Bill and I, and that's actually how we met. you had Pastor Joey Williams
Joey,
over there, and he
right.
who is the pastor.
He's dropping names everywhere.
Right. who is the pastor of Daystar Church of God in Lincolnton,
Mm-hmm.
and how we met. And let me say this: absolutely precious, precious people. Yep. His Pastor Joey is not only was our pastor, but and to this day. And I know you'll be watching the podcast, Pastor. I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate Pastor Roger, your brother-in-law. Now, you talking about somebody that's an inspiration. This is a man that had twice, not once, stage 4 cancer.
Roger, yeah.
And he's with us.
Yeah.
Thriving,
away,
still working away. Actually works where I do, but he works up the hill, as we say at the other place.
Gotcha.
So, but wonderful people there at Daystar.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Jim Peeler.
Okay. Yep.
And Sue, precious people. I remember going to with Pastor Jim to go to West Virginia. We would take toys and take clothing.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about
big mission trips. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mission trips, and we had such wonderful times together. I miss you, Pastor Jim. I miss you. Just precious people. I remember going on the trips with him. Great conversations, and you talking about. We don't know how good we have it. Those people up in West Virginia, I mean, as the saying goes, it looks like basically a shack that's ready to fall in.
Yeah.
A lot of these houses are like that.
Yeah.
And so those times and the worship and everything. And one thing I will say about Pastor Joy, and it goes for Pastor Adrian, if you go to one of their services, you'll never need hearing aids. And if you do have hearing aids, you'll probably have to turn them down. I mean, you're going to get the gospel whether you want it and hear it or not. You're going to hear it.
I'm not sure if you guys are watching. I'm not sure that was a compliment or not. But
no, it's a compliment. Trust me, it's a compliment.
Okay.
And one thing about Pastor Joy,
I do have to adjust mine, by the way, during service. Sometimes, actually, I have to adjust them in choir. If you ever see me on my phone during choir or anything like that, I'm either getting ready to take a picture of something, and during church, or I'm adjusting my hearing aids. Just so you know, it's one of those two things. So yeah.
Well. But one of the things about Pastor Joy, it always sweet guy and absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
When you really get to know him, I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. And but one thing I remember, he was at Covenant. There's a church in Lincoln called Covenant, and he was doing he was speaking. He was asked to preach, and there was a lady sitting in front of me, and she said, "He's crazy." And I went, because he does what I call, he's a Gamecock fan. He's South Carolina, so he's a Gamecock fan. So he was walking around. Sometimes he'd get into what I call the chicken walk. He would do going around like a rooster when he would preach. And he was in one of his the spirit was a hold of him. So
does he know this? Have you told him this?
So anyway,
this is the first time he's ever heard it. Okay.
So, but anyway, he was speaking, and the spirit was really a hold of him, as was going to say. And the woman said, "He's crazy." I went up to her and I whispered in her ear. I said, "You ought to be at our church sometime when he really gets wound up."
Yeah.
But anyway, precious. He was actually in Liz and our wedding. When Liz and I met, and by the way, we met at a Christian singles group in 2003, and she was going to church up at which was First Assembly at the time in Hickory, and the pastor at the time was leaving. He was leaving Hickory and going to an appointment in Atlanta. So we were the last people for him to marry in that church. So we were thinking about, of course, we wanted to say, well, we'll just go down here to Lincolnton. We knew we were going to live in Lincolnton, so started go find a church. Well, it came about from friends introduced us to Daystar.
Yep.
And then, like I said, that's how we met you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked Pastor Joe, I said, would you mind being an usher? He said, sure, sure, sure. So, and then long story short, that's when we started going.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then again, and by the way, Pastor Joey, congratulations on Judah, your new grandson. One thing about it, between the you and Sister Tracy, wonderful girl, wonderful lady,
good people,
first lady.
Mm-hmm.
Between both the grandparents, Judah will never have to worry. Your daughter will never, and us, you'll never have to worry about a date night, or a weekend getaway.
Yeah.
Judah will be taken care of.
Yeah. Right. Take care of that.
So, but anyway, just wonderful people there at Daystar.
So he's probably one of your biggest inspirations.
Oh, absolutely,
Pastor Joey.
Oh, absolutely.
So, anybody else? Who else besides Roger? Besides Joey? Who else?
You.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next thing.
No, this man. Since we met at Daystar, and
I can edit this out.
It's just you can edit.
No,
but just a wonderful friend. Especially these baseball trips and whatever we take and whatever we go to the games.
Games, minor games, that kind of stuff. So,
but anyway, I will say a lot of women in my life have inspired me. I have a cousin, Sherry. She's the prayer warrior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's and spirit filled. Yeah, and she is the prayer warrior of the family. When I had my accident, I had an accident in 2021. Which, by the way, this cap. Yeah. I was going to play golf. I'm a golfer. I love to play golf. That's my passion. By the way, golf is such a stress reliever. I mean, it really is. I was going to play golf, and my heart stopped. I went through all the 4 lanes of traffic. They had to knock the wind out to get to me.
You rear-ended a truck.
I rear-ended which you're not gonna mess up a semi. I mean, you're just not. You're just not. You're gonna bounce off. And they had to paddle me. So you're looking at a miracle.
Yeah, definitely.
We
thought we lost you.
Yep. And I tell you what, Bill, when you're in the hospital and they're trying to get your blood pressure straightened out, and your blood pressure, and by the way, I messed up 3 vertebrae in my back, but that's the wonderful thing about God, who is a healer.
Yeah.
I just have to watch myself, but I'm able to play golf again.
There you go.
Being in the hospital and the doctors and the nurses, they're looking at you, and their eyes are about as big as a silver dollar, wondering. My blood pressure got up to close to 200, so they're wondering whether you're going to have a stroke or a heart attack.
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard that saying that your life passes before your eyes. You'll think real.
Yeah.
You'll think about things real different real quick.
Yeah.
But and that was the year that Atlanta won the World Series. So here I am. You know that one of your verses, Romans 8:28. All things work together to them who love the Lord, who are called according to His purpose.
Right.
So here I am in the hospital room.
Rehab at the time, I think.
There's a drive. Deep left. Well, the World Series. So I'm watching the World Series, and my friend here brings me this cap.
There you go.
After the World Series championship.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So
you got your championship.
Yeah.
So you were in the You were in a rough place at the time.
A rough place, but boy, what a healing that was to see that. But as far as that pretty much covers that. As far as
so those are your inspirations.
Inspirations, yeah.
Cool. So how about go back to the green light though. So what's your green light then? Do you know what your green light is? You mentioned it, but
and let me say this: it has to deal. It has to deal with the green light. And this was confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
It has to deal with a shower.
Okay. A shower.
It has to do with a shower. Coming out of a shower. Okay. You know how you towel off and everything, getting out. Well, I looked down and I was doing my feet. And I know you can't see this on the podcast, but visualize this. I took my right foot and I put it on top of my left. And then I looked at my hands. And you know, the songs that we sing about Jesus hanging on the cross. Mm-hmm. And if you've seen the Passion of the Christ, you see the spike. Now, it's one thing, it's horrible enough to think about Jesus taking the spike in the hand. Yeah. He took a spike not only on his top foot, but they nailed it all the way through the other foot.
Right.
He did that for you and me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
What more love? That's the thing I don't get, Bill.
Yeah.
Why would anybody not want Jesus?
Mm-hmm. Nope. I agree.
And I remember something Pastor Joey said. I listened to you, Pastor Joey. I did. I listened to your sermons. Why would anybody not want Jesus?
Man. Right. And that's the guys that are coming through here. We're passionate about Christ because of what he did for us. We're passionate about Christ because we want him to do more through us. We want him to use us. We want to be godly examples for his glory, not for our glory. So, yep, absolutely.
Why would not anybody want Jesus? And he went on to say he had never met anybody that chose Jesus and regretted it.
Never. No.
Never.
That's one.
You'll never regret it.
It's one of Charles Stanley's. One of the big ones. That was always his. He said, "You'll never regret it." He said, "Never had anybody come back and said he regretted it. They've always regretted walking away from Christ, but they've never regretted walking with Christ."
So, walking with Christ.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
And to go along with that, I know that there's guys that's watching this podcast.
And some women
that have gone through divorce, and I want to say something about that. And about that, Christians can go through divorce. My second wife, I'm not going to. There's one thing about there's three things about divorce. Her side, your side, and the truth.
And the truth, right?
And the only one that knows the truth is Almighty God. The true truth. That's why I say God is a redeemer. Yeah. He is a restorer.
Right.
Those of you guys and women that have went through it, there is restoration.
Absolutely.
And you can get through it. I am not patting myself on my back at all when I say this. Okay. I have went through when I was in between jobs, I actually went to a mortuary school, which I tell my friends I can bury you. But I promise you this:
so
I'll be the last
podcast.
I'll be the last man to let you down. Okay.
Yeah. Why would I shop for a coffin? That's a coffin. That's the last thing I need.
But anyway, I went through the death of a spouse, divorce, which is a death in its own. I've lost a child. I lost my brother 2 years ago. I've experienced all the basically all the deaths that you
Loss,
can
yeah.
that you can go through.
Yep.
Everybody's grief is different.
Yep.
I know your loss, but everybody's grief is different.
Yeah.
But the main thing I want to say is God is so awesome. He is a restorer. And I'll go right into one of the favorite songs.
Okay.
Faithfully. It's a song by Toby Mac that is out. Take a listen.
Okay.
Any of you that have lost a child,
Oh yeah.
if anybody knows anything about Toby Mac, he lost one of his son to drug abuse.
Right.
And
that song's fairly new, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's his newest. It's his newest release, and it's
Donna
powerful.
was reading our lyrics the other day.
It's
very
powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's very, very powerful.
Faithfully.
So, Jesus is the answer.
Yep.
He's the answer.
He carried you through a lot.
Yeah. My thing now in my life now, with where I'm at in my life, Bill, I mean this. You know what? As the saying goes, look. My thing now. And by the way, let me get to wait a minute. My biggest fan and my biggest inspiration, and I have to say this, is my wife Liz.
Mm-hmm.
The saying is, behind every good man is a great wife.
Great wife. Yep.
You had your wife Donna.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
the best.
My wife Liz. I'll say this. I say this to a lot of my friends and coworkers all the time. If I'm half, and I mean half as good to her as she has been to me, I've done well.
Yeah.
Liz, I love you. I know you'll watch this. I love you dearly. You kept me from making a permanent decision.
Mm.
You kept me from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But, and any of you guys that struggle with, there was a time after the accident, I had a drinking problem. I would go home, I'd sit by myself, and I would drink. One of my friends called me after about almost a year. He said, he knew what I was doing. He said, "What are you doing, David?" I said, he said, "Don't you think it's time to just get on and stop and get on with your life?"
Yeah.
And a precious friend who's gone on now, it's
inspiration.
It pays to have godly friends. And by the way, can I add this plug for our church?
Sure.
For our church.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a church, we've got a good one.
South Gastonia.
If you're in the Lincolnton area, Daystar with Pastor Joy.
Yep.
Wonderful people. Janet, his father-in-law Jerry and Kathy, just wonderful, sweet people up there. Pastor Jim, Miss Sue came when Elizabeth had her brain surgery. They sat with us through the whole surgery. That is a sweet church. Not as big as South Gastonia, but everybody pretty much knows everybody up there. Just wonderful people. And you people up at Daystar, I miss you. I love you, and you will always be in my heart.
Yeah.
And as I know, they're in your heart also.
Absolutely.
Bill.
So we've
wonderful
So that's
people.
two of ours that we've had on here. Another Michael Goins, Life Church down in Cramerton.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Pastor Shannon Williams, Finish Line Christian Center in Mount Holly. And I think that covers all the pastors. So listen, there's absolutely no excuse, no reason at all for you not to be attending and worshiping with a group of like-minded believers. That doesn't mean we're all in the same place, but
exactly.
Right?
And you work there. If you have a child or daughter, son that's growing up and whatever, and would like to be in a Christian environment, to show them the right way to live, the right way to who to believe in, as that's another thing. I don't understand it. I mean, boys, waking up and they can't decide.
Yeah.
Well,
Confused.
anyway, I don't want to go. I don't want to go down that.
That's
I
all
don't want to go down
podcast
that.
right there.
Down
But
that.
what he's talking about is Victory Christian Academy.
Victory Christian Academy.
Which our producer, Stephen Wright, is a teacher there. So there you go.
There you go.
So and a lot of really great teachers and great leaders there.
Right. So if you want your son or your daughter to not go to a regular school, I know, I get it. Sometimes financial means, it just can't happen. But if you have the means, we would strongly recommend
school. Yeah.
Victory Christian Academy.
So those are all the plugs. So, I wanted to go back to something that you were talking about.
Oh, and let me say this about the Pastor Gilly.
Okay.
Oh, I can't say enough about Pastor Gilly. Get ready, get ready, get ready. That's what he said. Okay. But anyway.
Yeah. Back to the spouse thing. So there are some women who watch this. Now, it's probably the ones who already know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway in case some lady spouses are out there watching and they're not aware of this. If you're not building into the life of your man, if you're not encouraging, if you're not uplifting, if you're not pushing them along, I get it. Sometimes we need to critique. I get critique. It's okay. But if you're not on the right side of that, on the Jesus side, on the godly side of the godly man, he'll never be a godly man. I'm just going to let you know that right now. So if you're pushing the wrong side, pushing the wrong way, and not pushing with Jesus Christ in mind, you are going to have a non-godly man. You're going to push him into it. So I'm just saying, push him in the right way. Encourage him. Lift him up. Love him. Show him that you appreciate him. There's my little... Which we both have spouses who do that. That's why we can say that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway,
and it helps if you get one that can cook. Oh, it's a wonder I'm not as big as a potbelly pig. I mean, my wife, Elizabeth, is a great cook.
Mine is too.
She's
great. She doesn't have a lot of time to. She's working at the VA. It's hard to, but she is a great cook. So, and my daughters are too, by the way. They do a really good job. But anyway, that's not about me. This is about you. So let's talk about. Let's go talk about a couple of things here.
All right, sure.
You want to give us a favorite Bible verse, or you want to give us a hero of the faith, or you want to give us, you already gave us a bunch of heroes. Those are all existing heroes.
The hero of the Bible,
give me one.
David.
Yeah, of course. David, yeah, King David, right?
King David.
You don't call yourself King David, right? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, he does. He didn't answer that.
Sometimes the house, if Liz and I get in an argument, no, I'm just teasing.
Call me King. You'll really get encouraged, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Different kind of encouragement.
Different kind of encouragement.
All right, so King David is your hero. Yeah, he's been mentioned many times.
But my verses are Proverbs 3:5-6.
Okay.
Trust in the Lord, lean not in your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him. And Pastor Adrian's the one he mentioned, Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things will be added to you.
Yeah, awesome.
But my verse now that I hang on to, Bill, is Romans 8:18.
Okay.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present world are not worthy to be compared to the glory that is to be revealed to us.
Yeah.
My thing now is, when I take my last breath on this earth, and I take my first one in heaven, I want to see my daughter, Bill. I want to see her running. She's going to be running. She's going to be running with her arms open wide, saying, Daddy, 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 you made it.
Amen.
Mom and I have been waiting on you.
Amen.
Boy, I'm hanging on to that, Bill.
Yes,
I'm ready to get on the soul train, everybody. I'm telling you. And I'm not talking about the one on TV. I'm talking about the one going up here. And I sure ain't talking about the long black train that Josh Turner sings about. I ain't getting on that train.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that's good. I love it, man. That's great. All right. So now we're going to get serious. Not serious. Now we're going to go out of the serious. We haven't been serious. We've been serious and not serious and then not serious and then serious. But anyway. So now let's go to, before you give us your sports-related story so we can wrap this thing up, I got to give you your parting gifts. You already know, I'm sure, that you get some wonderful parting gifts, right? So, so your first parting gift is a bottle of Mr. Bill's STEM Education Hand Sanitizer. That's a shameless plug for my business. for Bill Ward Photography and Mr. Bill's STEM Education.
Well, Bill, there's no coincidence with the Lord. I'm just about to run out with some hand sanitizer that I have.
It always comes in handy. I know it. What a great.
I will use it.
All right. Then you get. Oh wait, that's not the second gift. The second parting gift is I will autograph for you a official Willie Ace Chicago Cubs baseball card.
Yes, I got to meet Willie.
Yeah, there it is. I will autograph that for you, and you get to pick a Lego superhero, and you say why a Lego superhero?
Why a Lego superhero?
And the reason is because, first of all, STEM, science, technology, engineering, STEM, engineering. You have to build a Lego superhero. And because we think that the men who come through here, we believe they are superheroes in God's eyes. So you can choose. Now, that's not even a man. That's Captain Marvel, the female one. And that's some kind of creepy.
You will worry about it if I want that one.
Well, I was going to give, and that's, I can't think of that one either. Deadpool, we got to get rid of Deadpool. No, wait, that's Spider-Man. And we got Thor, and we have Iron Man. I have my own Iron Man. You don't get my Iron. That's my Iron Man.
Well, you give me that Iron Man.
Okay, you get the other Iron Man. He's got the armor. He's got the whole thing. The extra armor suit that he did. I can't think of what it was called. But anyway, cool. All right, so that's your choice, and now you get to tell us give us a sports story.
Well, actually, I have two.
Two sports stories.
Well, you've already heard the one about the Braves, about winning the World Series, and me in the hospital and everything.
Yep.
In 1980, I believe, either 80 or 79, I got to meet Mickey Mantle.
Oh, cool.
I was working at the radio station in Lincoln, and he was doing a promotion for Burris recliners.
Cool.
Burris had their furniture place there in Lincoln.
Nice.
Not a tall guy, but his shoulders looked about as wide as his table.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a thrill, getting to meet him.
Neat. Yeah.
Now, if I can turn, you see that I have this Mariners jersey on.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. Well, look here.
You see the name Sherrill on the background.
His name on there.
There was a relief pitcher in the major leagues named George Sherrill. My dad's name was George Sherrill.
There you go.
Mom did not want to name me. My brother was a junior. His father passed away when he was 5. So, but Mom did not want to name me Junior, so they come up instead of George Dewey Sherrill.
Yeah.
They come up with David Dewey Sherrill.
Oh, there you
go. But George Sherrill pitched in the major leagues for 6 years. He pitched for the Mariners the first. He pitched for Baltimore. He pitched for the Dodgers.
It's terrible.
And then,
sorry, Billy Clausen, but we love the Dodgers.
Sorry, Mike, big Dodgers fan.
You got another Dodgers fan?
Yeah.
There's a couple of them out there.
And then he pitched for the Braves for 1 year. You're probably wondering, why didn't he get a Braves? Well, my wife got me this one. So, and if I knew if I got the Braves shirt, I'd be wearing it all the time.
Like every day.
So all the time. So anyway, So use this one.
Sure.
And then he pitched for Seattle again, and then he blew his arm out, and then his career was over with. But that's my sports story.
There you go. Cool. Well, I like the first one better, but no, I like both of them. They're both good. So, all right. Well, listen, David, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you sharing, liking, all that good stuff. Tell some friends, tell some guys to watch this that need to be encouraged and inspired. There are men of all walks of life that need to be inspired by what men are doing in the community, in their life, in their families. And we hope that that's what happens right here on the Greater Purpose podcast. My brother David, I appreciate you, my friend.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Bill, I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free.
I didn't know I was getting that.
The love of Jesus, He means so much to me.
All right. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here.
Probably the first time you've ever had anybody sing
It is.
on a podcast.
Probably be the last. I tried to get somebody to dance the other day, and they wouldn't do it. So, but that's good. We got the singing. Now the next podcast guest will have to dance. Anyway, thank you guys for being here for the Greater Purpose Podcast. God bless.